None of us
Okay.
can have one. I think she's like logged out. Maybe
Okay.
not.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. The next devotee can start.
दाम
Yeah.
I continue Mataji.
Yes, yes, Mataji.
दाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकम् सत्यं परं धीमहि धर्मा प्रोजितकैतवोऽत्र परमो निर्मत्सरामां सताम् वेद्यं वास्तवमत्र वस्तु शिवदम् तापत्रयोन्मूलनम् श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः सद्योरद्यवरुध्यतेऽत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषुभिस्तत्क्षणात् निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलम् शुकमुखादमृतद्रवसमयुतम् पिबत भागवतं रसमालयम् मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकः। हरे कृष्ण माताजी, हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
Any more recitations before we start the class?
I guess 10th chapter first look also, no, Mataji?
Yeah, Mataji. 10th sloka also we are supposed to recite.
Okay.
Once.
Shall I continue or somebody else will say Prabhuji?
Yeah, Mataji. You have the page, you can read, Mataji. You have the page?
प्रायेणाल्पायुषः सभ्य कलावस्मिन् युगे जनाः मन्दहासमन्दमतयो मन्दभाग्यायुपुद्रुताः। हरे कृष्ण माताजी, हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी, प्रणाम्स।
Done, Mataji? Any more shlokas? Can...
Yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for a wonderful recitation. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuroन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपां साग्रजातां सहगण रघुनाथामृतां तां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhamritamsha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Kauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavati Paschat Deshatarine हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much for taking your precious time out for this evening's Srimad Bhagavatam class. I will start from chapter 10, Canto 1, verse number 7. So let me share my screen. Let me know once my screen is visible. Yes. Is the screen visible? My screen is visible. भगवते वासुदेवाय उषित्वा हस्तिनापुरे मासान् कतिपयान् हरिः सुहृदं च विशोकाय Swastucha Priya Kamyaya. Anybody wants to read the translation and recite the shloka again? Please go ahead. Mataji, I can't find out who's raised the hand first. But yes, Sindhu Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, pranams Prabhuji.
And Dhanravad Mataji.
Sloka number 7, sloka.
7th verse, yes, Mataji. Chapter 10, Canto 1. Yes. It's visible, right? Present.
Yeah, visible. Ushitva hastinapure masan katipayan harihi shukritam cha vishokaya swashuscha priyakamyaya. Translation, Best Evangelist Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Hari, Lord Sri Krishna, resided at Hastinapura for a few months to pacify his relatives and please his own sister Shubhadra. Shall I read the purport?
Yes, Mataji.
Purport, Best Evangelist Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Krishna was to start for Dwaraka, his own kingdom, after the battle of Kurukshetra and Yudhishthira's being enthroned. But to oblige the request of Maharaja Yudhishthira to show special mercy to Bhishma Deva, Lord Krishna stopped at Hastinapura, the capital of the Pandavas. The Lord decided to stay especially to pacify the aggrieved king as well as to please Shubhadra, sister of Lord Sri Krishna. Shubhadra was especially to be pacified because she lost her only son, who was Abhimanyu, who was just married. The boy left his wife Uttara, mother of Maharaja Parikshit. The Lord is always pleased to satisfy his devotees in any capacity. Only his devotees can play the part of his relatives. The Lord is absolute. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. So here, a very important feature of the Lord is coming out very clearly. What is that? Anybody can make out? What's that feature of Lord which is coming out?
Absolute.
Yeah, that is, Lord is absolute, but his dealings with his devotees, like for example, he stayed on for a few months to pacify his relatives. See, he could have gone about his... Yes, wonderful answer. Compassion, yes. So see, Lord was done with his business, right? And Lord doesn't overstay. We have seen that. So once his job is done, for example, when Krishna left this world, basically he disappeared. Then his work was done. He had completely basically wiped out all the demons. He has actually shown his divine presence to the bhaktas. He has done everything, right? And so therefore he left. Here, Lord overstayed. If we see, Lord has stayed a little more for a few months to pacify his relatives, because all of them had come out of this bloodbath of Mahabharata, right? And they were all torn. No matter, we may say, yes, Duryodhana was in the side of injustice, adharma, all that is understood. But all of us are human beings. At the end of the day, we basically definitely miss our kith and kin when they are no longer with us. So that's a very natural human reaction, human emotion. So Lord stayed at Hastinapura, decided to stay specially to pacify the aggrieved king, as well as, now aggrieved king is King Yudhishthira, right, whose rule has been he has been inducted as the new king, right? Now, why is he aggrieved? Because he felt that far too much of slaughter has happened. And he felt a sense of guilt that if I basically rule this kingdom, there's nobody there with me. What is the use of this kingdom? And there was a lot of despair, and he went to Bhishma Dev, and that got sorted. But Lord was well aware that despite all this, it takes, even with Shastra knowledge, it does take, as human beings, some gestation time to recover from any big shocks. Right? It's not like we hear a word of Shastra and we can wipe out our tears and we are switched on, right? We are not a robo. We cannot, like some instructions and suddenly our mood changes, everything it will happen, but there is a factor of time. So Lord wanted to allow that healing to happen with Lord's great presence, and also a factor of time. And Lord is time himself as well. So that is for King Yudhishthira. And for Subhadra, Lord has, I mean, it's very clearly mentioned, she lost her son Abhimanyu. Subhadra lost her son Abhimanyu. And essentially, Parishit Maharaj's father. And therefore, and Uttara is Parishit Maharaj's mother. So, someone who has become, so there are two things here. Essentially, Subhadra has lost her son, and Uttara has lost her husband, right? Now, the man in the house is no longer there. A dear son of Subhadra and a dear husband to Uttara. Essentially, these are losses that are not easily recoverable. It takes time, right? And also, Pandavas had lost the entire lineage, right? They lost all their sons. So it was a very apt moment for Lord to essentially pacify his devotees by his physical presence, by his also Vapu and Vani, right? Vani, because he'll give solace through words, Vapu by his physical presence. And then, and importantly, Prabhupada calls out one thing, that the Lord is always pleased to satisfy his devotees in any capacity. That's a very important sentence. See, we hear Lord, when he was serving Arjuna, he was a charioteer. And Arjuna's foot was actually touching Lord's shoulder to indicate where he has to take right or left or go straight. So essentially, Lord had taken a very humble position as a charioteer to serve Arjuna and give him all the strategies. And so he also worked as a strategist in terms of making sure that the war is ultimately won by the Pandavas. So he played the role of a charioteer, a strategist. He also he was Acharya, right? And he gave Bhagavad Gita in the battlefield. So he converted the battlefield into a university. And can someone talk about what were the other roles Lord played, which they can remember, either from Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, where different roles that Lord played? Because I want to extrapolate on this word, satisfy his devotees in any capacity. I want to hear more from our devotees here to understand what were the other roles Lord played and how was that so endearing for all the devotees and also for the Lord. Anyone?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
Mata Prabhuji, in Vrindavana, he has acted as a best friend to his Gopas.
Sakyaras, right?
Okay.
So,
And
so
then
we, go ahead, Prabhu. Yes.
To Yashoda is
He's a son.
Masalyam. What is that?
Vatsalya.
Vatsalya.
Vatsalyam is actually exhibited by Yashoda, right? Vatsalya
Yes.
means parenthood,
Yes.
right?
Right.
But as a son, you're right. That is one another relation he played. Yes. Anything?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, in
Arjuna,
Gurukul,
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Prabhu.
in Gurukul Sandipani when he served, right?
Yes. Yes. So he served us, and did he Madhurya?
Son Arjuna Dasya Ras Prabhuji.
Yeah,
Is it?
it's like in some cases. So there was a point in time they were sakhas also, right? They were friends
Yeah,
before
Sakya, yeah.
Sakya. But
Sakya
you're
with
right.
Sudama.
Yeah,
With
Sakya with
Sudama.
Sudama. Correct. That's true. So, and he became Acharya suddenly, yeah, Lord, right, in the battlefield.
Prabhuji, Nanda Maharaj, he used to carry his padukas.
Right. So one service
When he
which
was
Lord does is allowing devotees to serve him. Right? If Lord says that I will not entertain any service, nobody will be able to perform services to the Lord. And does Lord need these services? No, it's only for the purification of the devotees. So he's benevolent, he's compassionate in allowing devotees to serve him so that they get served themselves. Right? So yes, so that's this is good. So we'll move to the next shloka. Amantraya chapya anukyata parishvajya bidhavya abhivadya tam aruroha ratam kaschit parishvakto abhivaditah. Anybody
Shall I
wants to
recite?
read? Yes, yes.
Hare Krishna. Amantrya chabhayun. Sorry. Amantrya chabhyanujñatah parishvajabhivadyatam aruroha ratham kaishchit parishvakto bhivaditah. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Afterwards, when the Lord asked permission to depart and the king gave it, the Lord offered his respects to Maharaja Yudhishthira by bowing down at his feet, and the king embraced him. After this, the Lord, being embraced by others and receiving their obeisances, got into his chariot. Purport. Maharaja Yudhishthira was the elder cousin of Lord Shri Krishna, and therefore, while departing from him, the Lord bowed down at the king's feet. The king embraced him as a younger brother, although the king knew perfectly well that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. The Lord takes pleasure when some of his devotees accept him as less important in terms of love. No one is greater than or equal to the Lord, but he takes pleasure in being treated as younger than his devotees. These are all transcendental pastimes of the Lord. The impersonalist cannot enter into the supernatural roles played by the devotee of the Lord. Thereafter, Bhima and Arjuna embraced the Lord because they were of the same age, but Nakula and Sahadeva bowed down before the Lord because they were younger than him. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. So it's a very beautiful feature of the Lord coming out here. Here, Lord is what is Lord trying to do? See, Lord is supreme personality of Godhead. Does he actually have to bow at Yudhishthira's feet? Can anyone explain why is he doing this? So this line, Lord bowed down at the king's feet. Why? Lord
Hare
has to do
Krishna,
that.
Prabhuji.
Yes, yes,
Actually,
Mataji.
here he is actually acting as Arjuna's friend.
Okay.
He is Arjuna's friend. So
Mhm.
he is also treating Yudhishthira as his elder brother. So he is giving that position to Yudhishthira. Hence, he is giving respect to Yudhishthira, Prabhuji. Then he also want us to know, the world to know that they have to we have to respect the elders. Maybe that is the point. Hare Krishna.
Yes, yes. Very nice point, Mataji. So, see, Lord, when he comes down to this world, right, he doesn't violate the principles of the material world, right? He observes the social etiquette, because if Lord comes and disrespects the etiquette, the social etiquette, then Mahajana yena gatasu pantaha. What happens? Everyone will start following, oh, Lord doesn't observe the social etiquette, so I will model myself behind Lord's behavior. So people will use Lord as an example to actually disrespect any rules, any etiquette that has been set in the social order. I'll give an example, very important, why Mahajana Yenagatasu Pantaha, basically why we need to follow this, and why the great souls set a great example before they leave. So it's just, all of us are aware recently that Trump got elected and he basically took over from Biden. And there was this very interesting conversation where basically there was Biden had given immunity to his kith and kin so that Trump cannot investigate them for anything. So he had submitted an executive order and gone, and therefore Trump felt helpless. And he said, no, this is so bad, I couldn't do it. And then the next bill comes to him where he's pardoning all the 1,500 people who attacked the Capitol Hill, right? All because they were in favor of him. So one person pardons 20, the other person pardons 1,500. So what I'm trying to say here is that if a bad example is set in the society, the predecessors who follow that, they will look at that as an example and take it notches down. And it actually goes down and down and down and down till it becomes something where it becomes completely sinful. In any way, Kali Yuga is fully sinful any which way. I'm just trying to say that we need to set a very high order so that people who follow us, they actually are able to take that, and it's the contrary for the other one. Oh, such a thing has happened. Let me take it few notches up. And the social order goes up. in the upward trajectory. So something to very, very important. Here, there is one more thing that comes out is the aspect of the aspect of essentially what is the social etiquette, right? So the social etiquette is, that's as Vaishnavas, and this is coming out very clearly from this passage, that if we are of the same standing between equals, then a respectful embrace, it can be initiated by any of them, right? Any of the two Vaishnavas, and that can happen, right? Of course, with Prabhujis and Matajis, namaste or basically folding your hands, that's the right etiquette. But between guru and disciple, can a disciple just go and hug the guru? Anybody has a thought there?
No, Prabhuji.
So a guru's position is superior.
Yes.
So a disciple does not initiate an embrace with the guru. By his endeavor, he cannot go embrace a guru, right? A guru, if he chooses and he feels compassionate for his disciple, then a guru may choose to actually embrace the disciple. And the disciple, when he embraces the guru, he doesn't embrace him above the shoulder. I've seen very clearly, if you see all the Maharajas, how they embrace their disciples, the disciples will always embrace lower than the shoulder of the guru, right? They will not go beyond the shoulder of the guru, right? And so instead, a general etiquette is a disciple has to offer dandavats to a guru. The moment he sees his guru, he has to fall at his lotus feet. That's the first etiquette, normal etiquette. Unless the guru chooses to embrace the disciple. Right? Between senior and junior Vaishnava, again, a junior Vaishnava cannot initiate an embrace, but can reciprocate if a senior Vaishnava has taken the initiative to embrace the junior Vaishnava. And otherwise, usual this thing is that they will greet each other with Anjali Mudra, with basically folded hands, right? Or Dandavat Pranam, any of it. Depending on the, let's say it's already crowded, it's better to just fold your hands when you see a senior Vaishnava. But a junior Vaishnava should be more proactive in folding his hands. He should not wait for the etiquette to be rendered by the senior Vaishnava. So he should proactively do that. And of course, if there is enough space, he should perform dandavats. Between men and women, Prabhujis and Matajis, it is always basically one has to just fold their hands. That's it. And during festivals and occasions, one generally sees that people are in a very joyful mood. Let's say Jan'25, then you'll see many Vaishnavas hugging each other, and Prabhujis with Prabhujis, Matajis with Matajis. And they try to break all the boundaries because they're so joyful that there is, let's say, Lord's birthday is there. The spirit is of that of joy and compassion, and immediately they start to hug each other. Right? So this is the general etiquette that we need to be aware in essentially greeting Vaishnavas. So Bhima and Arjuna embraced the Lord because they were of the same age, but Nakula and Sahadeva bowed before the Lord because they were younger than the Lord. Here, there is also a very important point which Prabhupada makes is impersonalists cannot enter the supernatural roles played by the devotee. Why? Why? Why can't an impersonal not enter this sentence? Can anyone explain? Very apparent. The answer is there in the sentence itself.
Prabhu, can you please repeat the question?
Because they're not the devotee, impersonalist, they are actually not having a personal relationship with the Lord.
Why? Why don't
They are
they have a person?
worshipping the void, actually.
Very good point, Mataji. So
they don't have.
Yes, Indu Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji, I was also thinking the same because they don't have faith also on the Lord. So they can't understand the...
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, they used to worship God in the Nirakara
impersonal form.
So,
very true. I
yes,
think Deval
impersonal
Mataji
form.
and Sindhu Mataji and yourself. Yes, Prabhu, you're right. They are worshipping the void form of the Lord. And you can't render any service. So it's an impersonal form of the Lord. So what can you do? You can just exist. right? There's nothing you can do. So therefore, they cannot enter this kind of a role play between Lord and his devotees, right?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
Mm,
one
mm,
small clarification at your end, Prabhuji. Now,
mm,
so in the most of the time, Prabhupada
mm,
used to
mm,
said Shankaracharya is the Mayavadi.
mm.
So Shankaracharya, not an imperson, he is not worshipping he is worshipping the param of God, Mataji, Prabhuji. He has installed 4 ashramas in all over India, and he is worshipping this Mother Goddess Saraswati also. So he is worshipping the param of the God, Prabhuji. Why
Mm.
they were calling as impersonalists?
Right. So that's a good point. See, this has been asked a few times. See, what has happened with the philosophy inherently is the fact that they worship the impersonal form of the Lord. Now, because of sometimes social etiquette, like you'll find a lot of Mayavadis also entering temple. If you consider them to be impersonalists, they have no business to be in a temple, right? Now, they themselves many times struggle that, okay, I'm an impersonalist. Now, there is a temple there. Now, what will I do? If the temple is there, I'll have to, bow my hands, do dandavats. So that's a natural etiquette they carry in the temple, right? But even when they are praying to the Lord, it's not that they are praying in a mood of essentially rendering service. They're just basically trying to, even in the personal form, they're trying to see, how I can actually. They're trying to access the Lord. They can't see him from the impersonalist standpoint. They can't see the impersonal form of the Lord. So they're just trying to basically still meditate on his impersonal form, though they have a personal form of the Lord. So it's more out of social etiquette rather than coming out of philosophy. Is that help? Does it help answer?
Prabhuji, actually, I have resided
Mm.
in Sringeri.
Mm.
So I have stayed for 4 years while in service. The Swamiji used to come
Mm.
and worship Goddess Saraswati and then
Mm.
Chandramoleshwara regularly. And in
Mm.
his personal puja room also, they have kept this Ishwaras, uh,
Mm.
Ishwara Param, the Linga. They used
Mm.
to worship for that also. Only
Yes,
while preaching to the public, all those things,
correct,
though
correct,
they used to express the impersonal form of the
correct,
Supreme Lord.
correct, correct,
That the
correct.
thing is,
So,
as per as my knowledge goes.
correct. No, no,
I
you're
have,
right.
atte- I have attended so many classes also in that
Yes,
what
yes,
Swamiji has taken. So they
yes,
used to glorify the impersonal form of the Lord.
yes, yes. So it's more out of social etiquette, Prabhuji. Like,
Yes, yes.
when you come into a temple, right, and you've been invited to a temple or you coming to a temple on your own accord, you cannot be disrespectful of the deity standing there, right? The second thing is, honestly, many Mayavadis who exist today, they don't even know the philosophy, right? They are far removed from the philosophy. They're just following whatever everybody's doing around them.
Yes,
So if
I do
somebody
agree.
goes to
I
the
do
temple, they
agree,
will
that.
also go.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
they
do
don't
agree.
understand the philosophy themselves. Yes. So
Yes,
that's
yes.
also one of the things. Yes. Hmm?
That is the thing. So
Yes.
originally they were not the impersonal, but the followers who were in that current juncture, so they were
Hmm.
spoiling the process actually as per my knowledge also much. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, yes, bro. Okay, so we'll go to the next verse. I think it's a very short purport also. We covered 7, 8, now 9 and 10 are together. Subhadra Draupadi Kunti Virata Tanaya Tata Gandhari Dhritarashtrascha Yudsar Gautamo Yamau Prikodarascha Dhaumyascha Striyo Matsya Sutadayah न सिहेरे वो विमुह्यन्तो विरहं सारंगतनवः तन्वनः. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, may I do?
Yes, yes, Mataji. Please go ahead.
Subhadra Draupadi Kunti Virata Tanya Tanaya Tata Gandhari Dhritarashtrascha Yuyutsur Gautamo Yamu वृक्कोदरश्च धौमश्च स्त्रियो मत्स्यासुधादयः न सेहिर्विमुह्यन्तो विरहं शारङ्गादन्वना. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, thank you. You can,
Translated
anybody
by
wants
His
to?
Sesi
Yes.
Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. At that time, Subhadra, Draupadi, Kunti, Uttara, Gandhari, Dhritarashtra, Yuyutsu, Kripacharya, Nakula, Sahadeva, Bhimasena, Daumya, and Satyavati all nearly fainted because it was impossible for them to hear separation from Lord Krishna. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Sri Krishna is so attractive for living beings, especially for the devotees, that it is impossible for them to tolerate separation. The conditioned soul, under the spell of illusory energy, forgets the Lord, otherwise he cannot. The feeling of such separation cannot be described, but it can simply be imagined by devotees only. After his separation from Vrindavana and the innocent rural cowherd boys, girls, ladies, and others, they all felt shock throughout their life, and their separation of Radha Rani and the most beloved cowherd girl is beyond expression. Once they met at Kurukshetra during a solar eclipse, and the feeling which was expressed by them is heart-rending. There is, of course, the difference in qualities of transcendental devotees of the Lord, but none of them who have ever contacted the Lord by direct communion or otherwise can leave him for a moment. That is the attitude of a pure devotee. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Archana Mataji. So here, there's a good description of all the members of the family, Subhadra, Draupadi, Kunti, etc., including Bhimasena also. So Bhimasena, we don't recognize Bhimasena with emotions. Right? We tend to only relate him with anger. Including him, they nearly fainted because it was impossible for them to bear the separation from Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna had completely healed them from the perspective of alleviating their sufferings. He had given them the kingdom back, and he had also given them some strong advice. He had given Vapu and Vani both to the Pandavas, and he was leaving. Now, once a guest, and Lord came in as a guest, and of course he's also a relative of all the members of the royal family. Once someone is very dear, even in our regular, our kith and kin, let's say, coming from abroad, they're visiting us. And then we have had a very good, cheerful bonding with them for the next 15 days to a month. And then they have to leave, right? There is always an emptiness, right? There is always a sense of void that develops. And we always think about the fact that they should somehow stay for a longer time, and they should give their association to us, right? When at a material plane, that kind of feeling happens. At a spiritual plane, between Lord and his devotees, and Lord is basically Bhakta Vatsala, right? He's so compassionate, a wonderful person, always working for the devotee, allowing them opportunity to serve, and he's also serving his devotees. All that is there. When such a personality leaves, there is a greater sense of Vipra Lamba Bhava. So the separation. So there is essentially one in union, the other in separation. Two types of modes. One in union, the other is in separation. The one in separation is held a little higher than one in union, because when one is in separation, like Radharani, the gopis, right? The longing for Lord is a lot more. There is a lot of intense heat that is generated, because the person who's so dear is not with them. So that anticipation of when he would come next is always there. And that anticipation keeps them alive. The fact that, yes, like Lord Krishna mentioned, that I will come back. So he left with, and that gave gopis the hope. Otherwise, they would all die if Lord had not given that, had not made that statement. Now, once the gopis from Vrindavan, they met at Kurukshetra during and the feeling which was expressed by them is heart-rending. So when they saw Lord in Kurukshetra, they could not relate that is he the same Krishna that we knew in Vrindavan? Because there they knew him as the cowherd boy who's going to play with them, who's going to recreate them, who's going to give them a lot of joy. And when they see him in this king's attire, they're taken aback. Oh, okay, is he the same person? Have I am I seeing the same person who I played with in Vrindavan? So that those kind of emotions were overwhelming them. Now, another very interesting passage that we see is in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's exchange with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Right? So, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, of course, he invites Mahaprabhu and he says that I will teach you Vedas, I will instruct you on Vedas. And Mahaprabhu heard him for close to 7 to 10 days, right? Patiently, without speaking a word. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was not sure if Mahaprabhu was able to understand what he was saying. And he inquired, you seem to be listening, but you're not asking any questions. Am I making things clear to you? Is all what I'm explaining understood? So Mahaprabhu said that, see, the way you're describing the meanings, you're giving it a flavor, and that is not something that is making sense to me. You're giving some words, some explanations, and I'm unable to relate with those explanations, those commentaries, those purports that you're giving. And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Atmaramasya Muneo, so that particular verse, Mahaprabhu discusses with him, gives 64 odd meanings to that, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is floored at knowing how much deeply Mahaprabhu knows the Vedas and the right interpretation of Vedas, and he surrenders to the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu then and there. And while Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is a Mayavadi, right? He's coming from that context, and Mahaprabhu, of course, is a pure Vaishnava. Now, after Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya surrenders to Mahaprabhu, he feels the deep sense of attachment. And when Mahaprabhu wants to leave, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya again faints, right? And here in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 7.70, there is this beautiful shloka. Eta bali Mahaprabhu karila gamana murchita hanataha padila sarvabhauma. Saying this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu departed on his tour, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya immediately fainted and fell to the ground. So that's how devotees express their Vipralamba Bhav. And Mahaprabhu himself, in thinking about Krishna, he would faint. Sometimes he will get up. Sometimes the hair will stand at its end, and he'll get goosebumps. Sometimes he will cry. Sometimes he will perspire. So all these are advanced symptoms of devotees who are experiencing the separation from the Lord, and they are completely either sometimes joyful, either sometimes they are crest-ridden, and they exhibit all these symptoms accordingly. So typically, all these symptoms are very nicely exhibited, including all the royal members. And one another thing to note here is the fact that Lord's extraordinary presence, right, has basically given this kind of emotion. So this also brings to fore a very interesting discussion on when, as a Vaishnava, when we enter or meet another Vaishnava, we are being hosted by that Vaishnava. So how should we spend our time there? So first of all, as we come in, right, we should basically offer our respects to the host for expressing our gratitude that he's able to host us. Then basically have very sattvic thoughts, and upon arrival, greeting the host with Hare Krishna, and offering respects to all the deities. So once we offer the respects to the devotee, we immediately go to the altar and offer our respects to the deities, elders, or any other senior Vaishnavas present. Then during our stay, right, I'm trying to extrapolate Lord's stay and Lord is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and in this case, you can consider Yudhishthira Maharaj to be a very pure Vaishnava, and all the Pandavas as well. So when we are basically in the stay, we ensure that by behavior and speech, we avoid all unnecessary arguments or criticism. Basically do loka vichar, right? We do not gossip. We do not ask, oh, this is the latest in politics, this is the latest in media, science, etc. We avoid all those mundane topics. We basically talk about the Supreme Personality of God. We talk about his pastimes, and that's how we keep ourselves completely occupied. Then, when prasadam is offered to us, we offer all the prayers, Mahaprasade Govinde. We recite those prayers. We do not waste prasadam. We take only as much as needed. And again, we take opportunity to serve the family. For example, if you get an opportunity to serve the Vaishnavas who have been host to us, we take those opportunities to do that. Then we do not, without taking proper bath or being impure, we do not go and touch some of the sacred items in the house, like puja articles, in scriptures, etc. And we sit with our legs folded. We avoid our legs being exposed to the sacred objects. Right? It could be books, it could be Lord's paraphernalia, it could be anything of that sort. And then we follow the customs of the house. We do not hold on to ourselves. Like we tend to abide by the customs. So, okay, there is a time when they chant. Sometimes the chanting time also varies, sometimes between households. Okay, there's a Mangala Arati that's happening. We offer our services if we can be of any help in doing Mangala Arati, etc. And then once we have had a very comfortable stay, we have built on our understanding of Krishna, we have grown a little on Krishna consciousness, and let's say it's the time for leaving, we express our heartfelt gratitude and offer some service such as cleaning up. Let's say we have taken some parts of the house, we ensure the room is back in its original shape as it was handed back to us. And then we give some gifts, some very nice Krishna conscious gifts, and we offer that opportunity to give them certain gifts. And if they are giving us certain gifts, we accept them with gratitude and reverence. And then we are very respectful, and we depart with the day blessing us. And if, let's say, we are senior in terms of Krishna consciousness, or in terms of age, or in terms of spiritual growth, then we bless them depending on who's who. And then we leave. So the reason I thought it'll be interesting to share this is basically the fact that when Lord came, stayed, and the time he spent few months, how he may have interacted with the royal members, and how by his association he has created this intense separation, because Lord is he's like a magnet, right? So anybody who's in and around the Lord will be attracted, not just by his physical presence, even by his glorious, he serves, he's residing in each of us as Paramatma. He also gives us beautiful memories of his remembrance. And the moment we think about Lord, we are in association of the Lord. The moment we chant the holy names of the Lord, we are in direct association of the Lord. And so this aspect of Lord, not just giving us, there are many who are fortunate in who got his Vapu, but we are very fortunate to get his Vani by sitting the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If not for this chanting of the holy names of the Lord, there is no way to connect with the Lord. And chanting the holy names of the Lord Yes, irrespective of time, place, circumstance, it can be chanted even in the dirtiest of the places that we've seen Mahaprabhu exhibiting by his example. Right? And the fact that when we chant the holy names of the Lord, the connection is direct, immediate, and instant. So it's like a helpline, which is always, we have access to it. If not for the holy names of the Lord, if not for what Prabhupada has given us by means of chanting the holy names of the Lord, at a minimum of 16 rounds, imagine how difficult it would be that, if the movement says that you have to go to a temple or you have to go to the altar, only then you can actually have the darshan of the Lord. And that's the only way. Then imagine if if we are in the bed and we have we can't even get up, how else can we access the Lord, right? So that way, the Krishna consciousness movement makes accessibility of the Lord, given our sincerity and faith, supremely easy. It makes it so easy. What looks very, very difficult becomes very, very easy. Of course, we have to show our consistency, we have to show our sincerity, we have to show our faith in the scriptures, Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. So with that, I conclude the class today. Any questions? I know we're almost there with the time, but these passages, were almost towards the end of the Lord's departure for Dwaraka. So any questions? Anything that comes to your mind? I think that you would like to share?
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Hmm.
But Prabhuji, I don't know whether it is related to this topic. Is it okay?
Yes, Mataji, go ahead. I'll try my
today,
best.
sure, Prabhuji. Today we are having the Shravan Utsav in the temple.
Okay,
And
Mataji.
also, like Prabhuji was talking about 64 qualities of Lord Sri Krishna.
Right.
And it was very beautiful. And each and everything he was explaining how merciful is Krishna and everything. But I just have a doubt, Prabhuji. I mean, there was also, I mean, normally people confuse, right? Krishna stealing butter and all that. But Krishna is also one of the quality was truthfulness, Shaktya Vesha, something, I forgot the name. Shaktya, something is that quality is there. So he's very truthful, but people mistake it because the stealing of butter is just a pastime, but he's the most, truthful, like that quality and all Prabhuji was telling. But what my doubt is, Prabhuji, is he possessive also? That was not mentioned anywhere here. Because normally, so many people have told me, Prabhuji, this one, because whenever we discuss some things and all that, whenever I, gets very close to someone or something, immediately within few days or some, we are no longer in touch or contact. Just a small example I'm telling, like with so many things like this. I mean, people getting angry, especially at spiritual people. Hurting them, throwing stones at them, like for every silly thing, just, a drop of a hat. They, in spite of knowing that, we are spiritual, the more the test Krishna is giving or it is happening to us, what is that? I don't know, Prabhuji. And one Mataji was telling you, Krishna is a very possessive lover because he doesn't want you to mix with anyone else except Krishna. So how do we understand this? I don't know.
So, yeah, just to rephrase, Mataji, what you're saying is that is Lord possessive or not? Is that what you're trying to ask, Mataji?
Yeah, I mean, is it true? Because I feel this is all like just a dramatical or something, which we don't know whether it is even bona fide or is it from the scriptures. But people are telling he's a possessive and all. I don't understand, Prabhuji. That's why I asked this question. He's a Lord, no? How can he think bad for us, Prabhuji?
No,
because if he's going to separate, it's for our good, right? He's going to separate from some person.
Separate, can you qualify that, Mataji? Separating from a person?
Separating means friendship, anything. Like today we are like head and heels over love with that person. Tomorrow we are no more like friends or something like that. Or it can be anything, love or a partner, marriage, any relationship. Generally, I'm asking Prabhuji because I have met so many friends myself. But after coming into Krishna consciousness or before, I don't know properly, but they are no longer in touch or something like that. Is it something to do with personal thing
Oh,
or?
okay. You're saying that because of Krishna consciousness, you lost touch with your friends. Is that also one of the
No, no,
points?
no, 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 no.
Okay.
Even after coming into Krishna consciousness, even having after so many friends, I mean, they are all like parted ways like that. Like
Okay, somehow you're not able to associate with them so much as you would have done earlier. That's how you're seeing it. Okay. So is that because of that, your question is Lord so possessive that he
he
basically
doesn't
cuts
want even
the
relatives.
ties. Yeah, he cuts the ties with
Yeah.
others, right? So it can be answered in many parts, and I'm not sure I'll have the wholesome answer here. See, one thing is there that Lord never leaves anyone, right? Now, I don't know whether you can qualify that as being possessive. First of all, ye yatha ma prapadyate. So he, as much we take the steps towards him, he takes more steps towards us. Right? So ye yatha ma prapadyate. It comes from Bhagavad Gita. And secondly, he exists as Paramatma in all of us. So irrespective whether the person is Krishna conscious or not, Lord is always there as he is leaving his amsha in that person as Paramatma, hoping that, this today he's not towards me. Today he's not looking at me. But I will not leave him, irrespective whether we are conducive to Krishna consciousness or not. So even in demons, there is a Paramatma. So Lord is not leaving anybody, right? He's supreme benefactor, supremely, I would say, Suhridam. He's always looking for the goodwill, right? He is always looking at how this person can he can take to bhakti. So essentially, he gives so many opportunities, sometimes uh, by accident or by choice. Some of them will fall in association of devotees and they will progress. Now, what about haters? What about people? That was also one of the questions you asked. Right? What about people who throw stones at people who are Krishna conscious or any sadhu? Now, there are two parts, two ways to answer this. One is the fact that there is some impurity that we have to cleanse ourselves from. So those impurities are exhibited through such people who are throwing stones at us, maligning us, criticizing us. So we'll have to bear that through. So it's a part of our cleansing that we have to see. Second, yes, when someone hurts the devotees, Lord doesn't sit back and enjoy. He's very much in the action. Anyone who disturbs his devotees, Lord is not going to take it lying down. He is going to, but we can't see that reaction right away, right? Because it's an evolution of millions of lifetimes. We don't know how that person will get positioned. He may fall from a human birth also. That's also possible. But again, still, Lord doesn't leave that person also. He's still as a Paramatma with him, hoping that in that, if I put a graph of infinity, if you can imagine, there is minus infinity to plus infinity because our lives are like that. There will be times when there is a degradation to a lower form, and there may be upgradation to higher forms also. So it will keep seesawing till we reach a point when we have a association of a devotee or Lord's mercy or some piety or something very unconditional that has happened our way, and we may get into a path of Krishna consciousness. So that can happen with us also. I mean, since we have also spent a lifetimes before this, it can happen for demonic people also. So Lord gives an opportunity to everyone. He's an equal opportunity employer. But if someone
Prabhuji,
serves him, yeah, yes, Mataji.
Lord is never possessive. I mean, that means that Lord will never separate. It is all happening because of what to say, Prabhuji. Even close relatives, family, everyone. I'm saying those who used to be very very close, now they want to maintain distance because of
Yes,
so many issues, health
yes, yes.
issues.
So,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay, is it because of health issues or because of Krishna consciousness?
they are all not into Krishna conscious, Prabhuji.
No, no, no.
Family, relatives.
Yeah, I agree. What I'm saying is something I've experienced myself. Is let's say the
Yeah,
relatives, let's say Mataji, you had a particular lifestyle. Let's say earlier, general food was okay. Offer food that was not offered was okay. General gossip, chit chat was okay, like that, right? There's a list like this, and your time was accessible to them, like they were having access to your time, and you had access to their time reciprocally.
Yeah.
Now, what happens is that they feel a sense of attachment. Oh, he's like us or she's like us,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now, what has happened is your lifestyle has
Little
changed quite
aloof.
a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
you've changed. So maybe when they call you, say, I'm chanting, can I call you later? Oh, I have a class at the moment. Oh, I cannot eat onion garlic. I need to take only offered food. Oh, I cannot come to a movie or I cannot go sightseeing like that. So there are a lot of restrictions that comes upon you.
Yes,
And when
Prabhuji, they
they,
feel they are always into Krishna, Krishna,
yes,
Krishna.
yes, yes. So, and
Like that, they
they,
feel.
exactly. So what happens is there is a natural sense of withdrawal when they see someone else progressing in Krishna consciousness. Now, do we want to solve for others or we want to solve for ourselves? So that's a question we have
Yeah.
to ask, right? Now, the fact that when we take to Krishna consciousness, again, we are not cutting the ties with them. Let's say there is a emergency, someone is ill, someone is sick. We should be the first who should give them company. We should immediately be
Yes.
available then and there.
But they will not like it. They will bang us. They will hurt us. I mean, we think with a good intention and go, but they ditch. I mean, they hurt us, and why at all we came? Like that feeling we get.
Oh,
Like
that
that.
way you're saying. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
See, what can
And
happen
even
is,
devotees also, Prabhuji. Devotees also
okay.
nowadays, like
Hare
Hmm.
not
Krishna
only
Prabhuji.
non-devotees and
Hmm.
devotees
Prabhuji.
also.
Hmm.
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Yes, Krishnamati Prabhu.
Prabhuji, 1 second.
Hmm.
Regarding Mataji's question,
Hmm.
in chapter first canto, 8th chapter, Kunti's
Hmm.
prayer,
Hmm.
sloka 26.
Hmm.
Janeshwar cha shruti ye yedamana
Vedamada
madak puman
Mahatma
nairva hatya
Naiva
bhivratum vai
Tvam
tvam
Akinchana Ghosh.
akinchana gocharam.
Hmm.
So the answer we can able to get in this purport, Prabhuji.
Yeah, he's the Lord of the impoverished, right? Towards the end, that's mentioned.
So that is
Yeah, just trying to
if we
answer.
have taken birth in a respectable family and we have got much more wealth and higher education and beauty, all those in these factors we can't able to
Hmm.
get
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
the
Yeah, actually,
Samipya of the Supreme Lord
yeah,
easily.
yeah, correct. But Mataji's question is a little different. What she's saying is that when we take to Krishna consciousness, the relatives, the kith and kin around us, they become a bit kind of distant from us, right? And
Yes.
they do not sometimes like our lifestyle.
Yes,
They
true.
will and they will also mock at us sometimes. Oh, he will only follow Krishna. Whatever
Yeah,
I say, he will not follow,
yeah. You're
right? So
missing out
that
on everything.
yeah, so they will taunt us, they will mock us, etc., etc., right? Now, one thing to call out, Mataji, is the fact that, of course, the fact that such people, when we need to be compassionate to them. See, they, after all, there is some blood relation that we have with them. We need to be a bit compassionate. And Lord is also testing us in some sense that how much have we grown in our own Krishna consciousness that we can deal with such people. That is one. Second is Narada Muni's example is exemplary here. So what happened was in Narada Muni's example, he lost his mother. Of course, he lost his father way back, but he lost his mother also, the only one who was so dear to him. And therefore, Lord made Narad Muni completely dependent on him. Sometimes, so for example, Prabhupada, when he started to preach Krishna consciousness, before he started to do a worldwide preaching of Krishna consciousness, he had a family. He also had a huge factory. He had a business with him. But Prabhupada in his prayers to Jaladuta, he says that, uh, allow me to dance, etc. And he says that you take away everything from me, but don't leave me like that. So he essentially, it's one of the Lord's arrangements that once one becomes closer to Lord, he will ensure that he gets an exclusive attention of the devotee because uh, the reason is that if we fall back to our old ways, let's say, then one more lifetime has gone missing. We don't know whether we'll get the same opportunity in the next lifetime. Of course, Neha Bikramo Nasosti, Lord also says that whatever uh, little benefits you have accumulated will carry on to the next birth. But Mataji, given how Kali Yuga is uh, deteriorating, right? We know that whatever ideals that existed 50, 60 years back no longer exist. And every year, the world has become a far more difficult place to live, right?
Yes,
So
Prabhuji.
do we
Everyone is
want?
also fighting their own battle.
Yes, yes. So it's battle across geopolitics, across countries, across
Everything.
households.
Yeah.
So it is at all level there is
So we
conflict,
can't
right?
expect any kindness. At least we have to be like as devotees,
Yes,
show example and
correct,
be kind.
correct, correct. We just forgive and forget them. So we
Forgive
just
and
say,
forgive.
okay,
That is what
don't
I
take.
do, Prabhuji, always. But
Mm.
I feel that the intention is good. The Lord knows our intention.
Correct, correct,
But
correct.
people, when they mistook, no, I can't even convince them, preach them. Like, no, it is not. Krishna is never. See, why will he then allow, first of all, in the first place, for people
Actually,
to meet? If
yeah,
he
yeah,
if he wants to disappoint us, why
correct.
he makes the meeting or why like
Right.
that? I
I
think
think
no.
one of the things people try to exhibit is the fact that, oh, they feel that Krishna has snatched you away from them in some sense,
Yeah,
right?
exactly,
Right. So they have
exactly. That is what I
animosity
wanted.
against the Lord, right? Now,
Yeah,
so that's the hidden, that's probably the meta point. Now, such cases, we need to be compassionate to them. We still need to be respectful. I know what I'm saying
yeah.
looks like
No, they
a.
used to say, Prabhuji, before you were very soft. Now you're
Hmm.
talking back.
Was
I mean to say,
it? Okay.
yeah, I mean to say we are like strong now, actually, stronger, wiser, and
Hmm.
we know. Earlier we used
Hmm.
to be very dull. I mean, we don't know anything. Like we were in that
Got
ignorant
it.
state. But now
Got
we
it.
have got that knowledge, but that is not ego. But people mistake it as spiritual ego or
Hmm.
whatever. That
Yeah, yeah,
superiority, they think like that, but that is not.
yeah, yeah. See, one thing we can do, Mataji, is of course being compassionate. We need to pray to the Lord for them as well, right? Somewhere they're related by blood to us. So we just need to pray at the lotus feet of the Lord to essentially help them progress in
That is
bhakti,
what
help
I
them
think,
give them.
Prabhuji, tolerate.
That's all. Yes. There's no other. See, one thing is that where they try to force you to change your lifestyle, you have to push back, Mataji. See, being compassionate doesn't mean that you lose the power to assert where needed, right? That is very important. Like Narad Muni was mentioning
Yeah.
this, gave this benediction to the snake, right? That, the snake became a devotee, that story, right? And snake was beaten up, thrashed by everyone. All kids will, take the snake and start to beat the snake. And snake felt very helpless because he was a devotee now. So Narad Muni told the snake that I never told you not to hiss when you are getting harmed, basically. So wherever we need to keep our philosophy, our we constructs our bearings right, we need to be a little assertive in those places. But in general, our mood is to be respectful and compassionate, but we should not give up on our own ideals. So I know it's a very difficult line to tread, but then hopefully with time and with patience, Lord will give us the necessary skills to uh, you know to apply this on a day-to-day basis. I know
Sure,
there's
Prabhuji. Thank you so much,
no
Prabhuji.
definitive answer for this, but then we praying that their hearts should get transformed. And Lord is very, very he's basically always in favor of devotees, right? So that will happen, Mataji. In your life also, it will happen. Yes, Mataji. So if there are no further questions, I'll end the class here. Bhagavad, श्रीमद् भागवतम अमला पुराण की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Dharam.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna pranams.
Would it be possible
Yes.
for you to share your contact number if I want to get in touch with you?
Yes, Mataji. Once again, I'll route it through. I'll type it here, but I'll also mention it here in the
Thank
chat.
you.